So yeah, it's going to be interesting to see exceL Esports on that terrorist side. A bit of a purchasing utility when you take a look at Boaster opting to go for that smoke grenade as well as the P250, which is quite an interesting pickup. But I have to admit though, it's going to be interesting to see where does the terrorist side decide to move. They're going to try to take fountain control. Don't blame them. Amy though has been tagged down quite a bit, has to back away, but the Dink, it doesn't do as much damage as might have anticipated.
Yeah, that Glock not quite getting out onto Imi, 80 HP up. Still, as the T side look in towards that A hit, Weber is pulling a bit of a rotation in towards the monster area, but only one terrorist spot. It means that the CTs will actually take a bit more of a passive gamble. They will have 3 players on the B site, but not going to go ahead and commit to the rotation on the A site here. So 4 players for exceL making their way into bathrooms in towards mid. Got a smoke and a flashbang. Probably smoke on towards dumpsters and flashing in towards the site. exceL to hit A. Got to defend against Thomas and Imi. Because quick rotation can come through. Endpoint still have 2-3 players here on B. 60 seconds left. exceL putting Boaster into position now. This T-side will eventually wrap up.
They should move now, shouldn't they? I do like the position of Boaster, but the thing is, I think he's the one that's got to do some... well, he's got to know how to line up that smoke, simple as that. But of course, they also have a player towards Monster. That would be Weber, and it looks like his job is pretty much to be the bait. But the thing is, the bait doesn't do much work. The human decoy doesn't succeed. Now, Jacob does get the frag onto the A bombs, and the bomb will be planted. That is a good thing for exceL Esports, but now the retake, it will commence from Team Endpoint.
4 versus 4. Even Steven at the moment in time, but exceL have got that bomb down. Endpoint need to get on towards the site quick, and they have got one player close range with Dansky. We're able to take down Alex, but Thomas swings right back around for the 3 versus 3. Spotting players in towards mid. Stanley will move forward and trying to catch off these players as they cross on through. Double crossfire set by Boaster. He takes 2 frags, looking for a 3rd man, but Mighty Max has stuck the defuse with the defuse kit and will get away alive for Endpoint, scoring their first on the board. What a start from the CT side.
Yeah, that was good. That was very good. It's been dissatisfying for exceL Esports that they had Weber as that. I think his job is pretty much to be a human decoy. You try to rush up B Weber, try to get a frag if possible. Like, if he would have gotten a frag there towards the B bomb, so that could have made so much confusion into the ranks of the CT side. But problem is, he gets one tap pretty much instantaneously. It's a bit dissatisfying for him and for exceL Esports in the end. That smoke diffuse there, that just proves on how valuable it is to have a diffuse kit and a smoke grenade as well. And well, Team Endpoint, that's a pretty good start for them. Thomas picking up the very first frag, as well as some damage exchange. And well, Thomas, he will be picking up 2 kills apiece. Weber, he died previously, the very first man, but now he will be picking up a frag, which is quite decent, I'd say, with the P250. But this was a bit of an eco here for exceL Esports, so we could be seeing a proper investment. Could be the case.
Now, bomb plant in that first round. Eco, of course, for the second means the AK should be able to buy it down. exceL will be slightly limited on the utility, but they do have 4 smokes in place, so set executions can still be on the card here for this T side. We'll see where the default leads to is first. You often see these teams, on the, particularly in the UK, go for that setup default, that aggressive default. Try to see if they can pick off a CT early for the setup itself, and they will go for a split here in towards the middle area. Boaster catching off Imi and shutting him down immediately. Thomas forced to back off already. Not a great start from Endpoint as exceL come out swinging with these AKs. They're up against a bit of a broken buy from Endpoint, trying to get as much value out of these SMGs as possible. Not quite the money line that they would be expecting to buy into at this point in time, but opening frag now does leave 2 players here on A side. A lot of aggression. I can't see if they can try frag back over on B, and they do take down Weber, but not before Weber takes down one more. 4 and 3, favor to exceL.
Favoring the exceL side, I'd say quite a bit. 4 versus 3, and by the looks of it, the exceL side will try to push towards this A bomb, so it's a good thing for them that they've isolated the player on the side itself. Problem is, there's still a player in bathrooms, that be Thomas, and he's waiting. He's waiting, but no, okay, he will be getting the 1 frag, but he has been spotted out, he has been dinked, and he's gonna be going down. Simple as that. Now it's all up to Mighty Max though, and he will be found by the Boaster player. Now, the thing is though, Endpoint, they had a pretty good start there. They pick up 2 rounds in a row. That's good for the CT side. Problem is, they're now facing economical turmoil. They have got barely any money left, and well, looks like they're gonna force buy here. That's a decision here from Team Endpoint. Of course, the force buy will come through. There's a substantial lack of utility from the CT side.
Yeah, they managed to whittle exceL down to 2 players in that last round, so they're forcing the issue, trying to see if they can outlast them in a quick war of attrition. 4 AKs at Deagle, out for Windansky. Once again, the T's make their way in towards that mid play. This time, no player up first to try and get the opening frag. Endpoint learning their mistakes, just putting the AWP out towards Long as the most forward player on this CT stance. And he will catch off Jacob for his trouble, taking that 1 kill, running right back in towards the A side. Oh, actually, never mind, he's going to go peeking a little bit further out, trying to see if he can catch off Boaster, but outside of that, very, very little will be recovered. The opening pick does go to the favor of Endpoint, which is a great start. If they want to break exceL's economy, this is the perfect way to do it. Just take that first pick, wait for the defensive. You'll have a man advantage when it comes towards that push. It's a 5-on-4 to the CTs.
I was a bit worried there for Thomas. You know, it's a good thing that he's able to get the initial frag, but of course, lurking there, you know, staying in that position, that could be detrimental. That could have allowed exceL Esports to maybe get a frag, but it's a good thing that he does back away at the very end. Now, this is still a favorable position for Team Endpoint, of course. I've mentioned their lack of utility, but if they're able to get the frags going, well, utility is not going to be the biggest of issue. And I have to admit, though, after getting the initial frag, they're playing reasonably passively. You still have 1 player towards bathrooms, and you have a player watching long. That'd be, of course, Thomas with that AWP, the big green gun, if you will. And exceL Esports, they are definitely taking their time, and it's about time that they try to hit either of the bomb sites. Looks like it could very much be this A bomb site, but they're still waiting. Thomas gonna try to peek for the smoke, but I think he has been spotted and now has to back away. And by the looks of it, the push will commence.
Yeah, Thomas still here though. AWP trying to spot the players making their way out of Long. Does take down Boaster, spots Loza in the corner of his eye, but Loza gets a frag right there, getting the bomb down. Alex pushing aggressive, shuts down the first, looking for the second man and does line up the kill, but unable to stop it before the bomb does go down. They will recover some rifles from Endpoint. A force buy successful to try and bring exceL to their knees, and getting AKs out. The AWP, of course, recovered here for this CT side of 3rd round on the board for Endpoint. And it has been relatively successful. They've taken all 5 players away from the exceL side of the economy. Not good for a full force down. Might be looking at upgraded pistols, a half buy at best, but definitely not a rifle round here from the T side.
Oh, no, definitely. I mean, it's a good thing that they were able to get the bomb plant, so they did get some of that extra money. Definitely not the most amount of it. They're just going to have to eco this one out, and once the eco is over, they should be having, I'd say, a pretty decent buy coming into the 6th round. But for the time being, it's an eco, so if they're able to deal some economical damage on the CT side, that'd be pretty good, I have to admit. And I do kind of like the positioning of the terrorist side, though. Thomas, he's a bit of exposed here, you have to admit. No one's really watching Connector, but he will be getting the shot into Boaster. That's a pretty nifty shot right there, but now he has to back away in the T's. Looks like they're going to try to go for this push. So the bomb has been dropped. That's a bit dissatisfying for exceL Esports. Oh, that's a nice shot there from Windansky. Drops the opper, but I do believe the op should be recovered anytime soon. Imi will be putting in a couple of shots here, and, well, I'd still say that's a pretty decent eco here from exceL. Weber, last man standing, Deagle, and a hand mother nonetheless. And, well, it's looking too bad here, I'd say, for exceL.
And not the best round, of course, but, you know, wasn't really expecting it to go a whole lot else. Basic pistols upgrades and no real armor to speak of for exceL. 4-1 to the favor of Endpoint in that particular eco round, the anti-eco. Going so well here, but exceL, you know, managing to do a little bit of damage, force the rebuy on 2 players, and you can see Thomas will be money screwed for it. Has to get dropped a rifle here by Imi, and Imi will get that out towards him. So economy kept modest for the CT side. exceL, of course, have their buy up here after 2 rounds with a bomb plant, similar to how the pistol round and conversions went for them. Yeah, Endpoint managing to lock out a decent lead to kick things off 4-1 towards that CT side. As exceL go back in towards this default, they will be challenged once again by the AWP of Imi, who will just peek out, look for the opening frag. But just meeting with utility, not much more than that. exceL looking for a more defined push in towards the B site. All 5 players are back here towards Monster. And Stanley really is the only man with a forward position. He's got 2 players on backup, but he won't find a whole lot here into this Monster position. Never mind, spraying through the smoke, catching Boaster off with a headshot in typical UKCS fashion.
That's a feels bad, man, right there for Boaster. I mean, the thing is, you also take a look at the terrorist side. They've invested in some utility. Problem is, they're probably not going to be using most of that utility onto this B bomb. So if the push does eventually come through, surely they should probably be smoking off some of the more important parts, like Heaven. But now the thing is, Luzu looks like he's going to try to go for this push. Looks like the entirety of the terrorist side will go for this push, but looks like, well, it's not looking good for them. They've already dropped 2, make that 3, and looks like it's all up to Weber. Now make that all up to Jacob. He will be getting the 1 frag, but of course the bomb is dropped somewhere towards Monster. He has to recover it, and of course, there's still 2 more remaining CT players, that be Thomas and Imi. Now Thomas and Imi gotta play this one smart. They're playing reasonably far away from each other. That's a bit dissatisfying. Jacob might be getting some sort of frag here, but still 2 points of health. That's not a lot. He won't be getting the frag onto Imi, even though he was left with only 6 points of health. That looked pretty scary there for Endpoint in the end, but still they're able to get the round win, and that's what matters.
Yeah, 3 kills coming to the favor of exceL though. Once again, keeping that economy modest. Endpoint still forcing in towards these next rounds. The UMP for Alex especially just kind of telling of the situation that the CTs are at. Full sets of utility out for everybody else, and exceL are on an eco, so it shouldn't be too much of an issue. Just have to make sure that these CZs, these P250s, especially with the buffs that these CZs and the Deagle has always had, you know, especially after those particular pistols come into play, just trying to hope that they don't lose 3 more players, and if they do, then Endpoint could get shut down easily by exceL. For now, though, easy clean-up. Alex with the UMP, 2 kills, $1,200, AWP pick from Thomas as well, leaving it up to Boaster and Weber. Boaster does pick off Imi at least. But yeah, Alex is going to try and finish the job. 3 kills for him with Boaster falling. Just Weber left alone with the Deagle. 1 versus 4. Yeah, very little left for him in this round.
Yeah, not a lot. Simple as that. Have a lot to work with here, Weber. Of course, he's got the Deagle in hand, but I don't think the Deagle enough is going to be able to win this clutch now. He might just get a couple more frags here if possible. I wonder what kind of weapon did Imi drop. I think he might have dropped the UMP, so that's definitely not, well, a lot worth saving here for Weber. Of course, he's going to have to, well, as harsh as that might sound, he has to go, you know, die at this point because he's going to be getting a maximum, I think it's going to be maximum lose money bonus now at this point. Oh no, it's still only going to be 4 rounds losing, so they're still going to be having a decent amount of money here, Weber and his squad, so he might just get a frag here if possible, but even then, that is a pretty big question mark.
Leaping in towards the mid area. Don't know where he is just yet. When he makes a noise, he will be spotted, or Thomas could just peek out and shut him down, so that's easy enough, you know. Again, a round that you aren't expecting much out of exceL. Very little armor, only the upgraded pistols. They're mainly focusing on this next buyout, which will be the full rifle setup for the T side. 4 AKs. Boaster could go glass cannon AWP, but we'll decide against it, as you know, it kind of makes a whole lot more sense to get the AK with the Kevlar. Interestingly enough, exceL haven't had a definitive buy where they've had that AWP in play, so definitely not been an impact gun for them so far. 6-1 is the scoreline. exceL needs to start thinking about getting some rounds on the board soon enough. This default hasn't quite worked out for them in the way that they would have wanted it to, so they will go back in towards the B site-centered side of things. Node looking for towards connector, not getting aggressive in towards mid, and could try for another B site hit, which worked out well enough for them, but they need to just find that first opening frag. Mighty Max will pop his head over the wall, but won't get taken out for it. So exceL getting a little bit of information, but not much when you consider what the CTs really gave back.
Yeah, that is true. And when you think about it, Team Endpoint have been pretty much playing throughout the entirety of the CD half, pretty much 3 players on this B bomb. So now it looks like the push will commence here from exceL Esports. You gotta be careful about this one. You gotta start winning some rounds here, and Stan, Alex picking up kills apiece. This is looking very good. But Team Endpoint, not so much for exceL, as they're getting completely annihilated. Now Boaster, he's still alive, but the question is for how long. 23 points of health. He's got the bomb on his shoulders, which is pretty much, I'd say at this point, one of his only saving graces here. Thomas, maybe he could have gotten the wallbang, but now Boaster, well, he might just try to rotate here towards his A bombs, but of course he's gonna have to be quick on getting the frag onto Thomas, and he might just do it, but no, Thomas is way too quick on the trigger. It's going to be still Team Endpoint with a pretty dominating scoreline at this point. Surely 7-1, and what I think they won, yes, 5 rounds in a row now. exceL Esports not doing a very good job here on the T side.
You can see Alex in that last round just knew exactly what was coming when exceL hit that execution, when the flashbangs came through, just continuing the spray through mid. The experience of this man from LDLC, of course, subbing in for Endpoint for WESG. He knows exactly how to bring towards this CT side, to bring towards this team, and it does force exceL Esports into a max loss bonus situation. Like you said, 5 rounds in a row. And this T side will have to half buy in to get a definitive rifle round in the next, but they need to start putting some rounds on the board here, otherwise they could get shut out in the same way that Infuse were pretty much shut out on their series when exceL took control. 3 picks for Imi, Alex, and Thomas. Loza does get a trade back, but it's still a 4-on-2 situation, and Thomas knows exactly where they are, as does Alex. Communication, letting now all the players know all the information that the CT side has all on Boaster now. 1 versus 4, M4 in his hands, caught out in mid, bomb on his back. Could sneak a plant if he found a smoke on one drop player, but I don't think there's any available to him. We'll make his way in towards the bathrooms area, and Alex will shut him down. That'll be 8 rounds. Endpoint taking a relatively clean half towards their CT side.
And I have to, when you think about it, Team Endpoint, they haven't really been playing some sort of, you know, unknown Counter-Strike, unknown form of Counter-Strike. They've been pretty much playing the sort of default that they have here. 2 players towards the A bomb side, 3 players towards the B bomb side, and they've been playing the setup throughout the entirety of this first half. Surely, you know, we saw them mix things up. We saw them take connector on the rounds where exceL Esports were on a bit of an eco. Then we saw them trying to push like bathrooms at some point. Oh, this time around we're seeing Thomas actually going for the peek towards Fountain. Does get the tag in on the Jacob, but that definitely does not mean that he has got the kill. At this point, it's still very much a 5 versus 5, and you have to wonder, exceL Esports, they've got to start winning some sort of rounds here. They're going to try to change things up here by moving towards what seems to be bathrooms and a long. That's definitely not a bad setup right here, but at least now they can get something going in their favor.
Already tag damage to the favor of Endpoint. Thomas legging down Jacob at 24 HP, so not a good start. And Alex is a good read onto where Windansky is as well. And unable to net one of those shots on towards his head. Would have been just as much tragic for him if he was able to find that kill, but exceL will get off scot-free. Minute still left to go and no real pick going towards the favor of either side. The bomb is still set up here. The T's have made their way in towards A site control. Not definitively on the side, but in towards mid, in towards long, and one player, of course, back here in the monster area doing some damage onto Stanley. 42 down on the man. exceL looking like it will be an A sub. Got to come up with the aggression against Thomas and Imi. AWP from Loza trying to find this opening pick as the smoke does clear, but counter smoke's coming back through Endpoint, just stalling for time. Here it comes, exceL hit on towards A side. Endpoint rotating Alex to defend 3 players right here. Close range from Imi. If he can find down 1 player, that'll be a great start in this defensive.
Oh, and he drops the bomb as well. That's a bit dissatisfying here for exceL Esports. Now things are crumbling, and I guess that was it. That was the push from exceL Esports, and they get completely shut down. Problem is, they also didn't really have the most amount of time to play with when you think about it. I mean, they try to push into say bomb set, they get completely wrecked by Imi. I mean, he drops the bomb carrier. In that sort of scenario, pretty much Team Endpoint can go for the full rotate. They know where the bomb is at, and they know where at least should be the remainder of the exceL Esports players. So, I mean, things are not working out here for exceL Esports. What more can they do at this point? They haven't playing the sort of slow-paced Counter-Strike, I guess you could say. They've been playing this default. They've been trying to go fast on towards the B bomb site. Things haven't really been working out for them. The executes on the A bomb site as well. Well, what are they going to come up with? At this point, you need to have some sort of player to go for some, I'd say, massive play at least, you know, get maybe some sort of entry frags going now. This might just work out for them when you take a look at the position of Imi. Oh no. Oh, that's a bit of a whiff there from Imi. Now he has to back away at this point, reveals his position and has to back away. So you might have thought that, okay, exceL might have gotten the initial frag there, but for the time being, that is not the case.
Once again, these defaults don't work towards any picks for either side. exceL pushing up Windansky. Wimi's playing close range once again. Windansky better be expecting this because he's already made it hurt once. He will get shut down for it. Windansky enters for the exceL side, opening frag. Alex will rotate to go ahead and back up Thomas in the AWP, but the execution is well set incoming from the exceL side. They push on through Loza, the first man in with a CZ only, trying to get close range against this AWP, try to see if he can shut it down, and Alex has got a knife out in the smoke, eventually switches out towards his AK. The bomb will get planted right there on the cross, and the smoke does cover him off, but he hears the footsteps of Boaster spraying on through, trying to shut him down. Loza gets a quick trade back, and Jacob takes out Alex, so it's a 2 versus 4 for the exceL side. Mighty Max and Stanley, last 2 left alive here, might want to consider saving it because T's are holding close range. Jacob right here in bang. Mighty Max with a very good flick on towards his head. But the 3 T's that remain are held back towards mid, and only 1 defuse kit on Stanley. If they're going to act, they got to act quick. Mighty Max peeking in towards every single corner, trying to spot players. Windansky gets a kill, and Weber will close it out on towards Mighty Max for the second for exceL Esports. But it did take a very, very long time to get there.
That was nice. That was nice from exceL Esports. You get to see Windansky pick up the very first initial frag onto the A bomb set, and once the push does commence, and that was some very nice you see from exceL Esports. They deployed a decent amount of utility. They were able to plant the bomb, and they had pretty good post-plant positions as well. So just enough a team Endpoint to win that one, especially with rotating players from the B bombs. It's just a very difficult task ahead of him now. Thomas, let's see, though he will be getting the initial frag here for team Endpoint. Very good stuff here for the C side, of course. Maybe not so much for exceL Esports, because it's a good thing they do win the round. Yes, that is very good. But imagine a scenario where they end up losing the consecutive round. They're barely gonna have any sort of money left. That's a situation where if you're the T side, you definitely, and I mean definitely, don't want to be in.
exceL on the verge of a reset, which will be the perfect situation for Endpoint. They've had a dominant CT half so far, and just to lock it out at 13-2 pretty much will be guaranteed if they got this next round. So a key victory here for exceL if they want to take it. Kind of need to take it at this point. They've got 60 seconds on the clock. The bomb is down towards the monster position. exceL still getting to commit. Molotov down on Toxic, trying to force Mighty Max out of position, but a little bit too far ahead on towards the pillar as Lazar looks in for the entry on the B side. Bomb's making its way into B, into Monster. Stanley trying to see if he can catch the information on the players that are there. And Endpoint have already got this first pick, so exceL a little bit of a disadvantage in towards this B push. They will come on through, and Stanley will drop the bomb on Weber. Mighty Max is right here, close range alongside Alex. They lock down Windansky and Boaster, and Lazar is left alone. A 1 versus 5, held back towards Monster, and just getting sprayed down by Stanley for his double kill for the 10th round on the board for Endpoint. And, well, we talked about it. It became a reality suddenly. This map for exceL is looking further and further slipping out of their grasp.
It could be. It could also be the caster curse. But the thing is, you know, that was pretty much, you know, a possibility, a hypothesis if that would have happened. And the thing is, it did happen. And exceL Esports now, they're in a very horrible predicament. What is their choice? I mean, surely they can go for the eco, but that could even be a double eco at this point. So the force buy, I kind of understand from their point of view. They need to start winning some rounds here. And well, if the force buy doesn't work out, well, worst case scenario, they've got another force buy, and after that, they got another force buy. So I guess that's the, well, sort of saving grace here for exceL Esports. But the thing is, they've got to start getting some sort of rounds here on the T side, because if things are gonna get switched, and the thing is, they will. I don't know if exceL Esports just have accumulated enough rounds here. Now, they are going to try to go for this push here, and that's a good thing. They're able to take down Lazar. The push does commence here, and they might be able to take down the remainder defender. Yes, that is just the case. The bomb will be planted here in Team Endpoint. Well, of course they're going to... Okay, that's an interesting molly right there.
Weber, nice.
Well,
nice.
Yeah, that was interesting. Windansky, that's a nice shot as well. Now Mighty Max and Stan gonna try to go for this one. I mean, they've got money. Money is not of the issue here now. Stan, he is in a 1 versus 3. That's a bit difficult, you could say. But I mean, good thing for him is that his team and he himself has got a lot of money. But these frags, though, they're still working out here for the CT side quite a bit. Stan, though, he's got something to work with here. He's got the defuse kit. He doesn't have a lot of time, though. Looks like he's gonna try to stick it, though. But Jacob playing this one to perfection, and he does win the round. 10-3 is the scoreline. And exceL Esports, they pick up their 3rd round here on Overpass. It's been a long time coming, but it's here. They might just make the scoreline a bit more tangible if they're able to pick up the 2 more remaining rounds here in the first half.
Yeah, 10-5 isn't necessarily the worst scoreline to end off the half, so exceL can work off of that, especially when you consider their CT side in the last series. I can imagine that there would be a bit more to work with had they start things off on that CT side, but here and now is what they will have. 5 AKs out, of course, after that round. Only 1 player staying alive, and Stan getting a 4K all in all, so doing good for Team Endpoint. Almost clutched it out, and if he had, that would have been perfect for him. Boaster going to try and read on towards the aggression coming in from Thomas, but he doesn't realize that Alex is also there with him. We'll take the 2-for-1 trade, favor to Endpoint, and the remaining exceL players are all here out towards Monster. Looks like it's going to be quick flash, Molotovs and smokes into the B bomb site. Weber tosses his one, and now Windansky enters. Stanley and Mighty Max got the crossfire lock. They spray on through, and Stanley connects a double. 3 players stay alive. Endpoint will once again reset exceL's economy down to virtually nothing for the T side.
But I have to admit, though, that was so simple from Team Endpoint, but it worked out beautifully, like that push towards long. They had 2 players there, of course. You had one of the first players pushing up there. I think it was Thomas that died, but of course he did get the initial refrag, and I think the remaining T player didn't even realize that, oh, there might be another player pushing. He was expecting maybe to see a push from Toilets, but the thing is, You see Alex, he comes up with a kill, and that crossfire onto the B bomb set that worked out so beautifully here for the CT side. I have to admit though, exceL Esports, I mean, another force spike coming in here, pistols across the board here, and well, the pistol is gonna have to do some heavy lifting at this point. They have to start get some sort of frags going, and with the frags, they might just get some sort of round here. The push will commence here at the onto towards the A bomb station with Thomas. He will be picking up a couple of frags here, and that's already good enough. They should realize that the push will commence here. Boaster and Windansky still trying to do something about it. Boaster though with the frag. Now it's a 2 versus 2, looking quite doable here.
Molotov down, trying to force the issue away from Mighty Max, but Stanley on a backstab. Boaster not expecting this, making his way on towards the site. Tap down coming on through, and Stanley will drop him. All on Windansky and AWP, a 1 versus 2 situation. Stanley doesn't know exactly where he is, but eventually we'll spot him. Eventually we'll take himself a 2K. 12-3 half, a very, very dominant start from the CT Endpoint, and exceL. I'm very confused as to why they decided to start things off on the T side, especially when they did have such a CT dominance against the likes of Infused. Either way, 9 rounds for them to make up against Endpoint, as the second round is ready to get started very, very quickly. exceL into the CT pistol. Let's see what they will have to play with here. Let's see what it setups for either side shall be. Endpoint, maybe putting the double flash smoke, assuming that several times out of them for just a simple B-side execution. exceL will have the defuse kit on Boaster. Smart, because if Team Endpoint managed to get the bomb plant, that means a very easy round could go towards their favor, and that will just open things up for, well, potentially GG for map number 1 for exceL. And Endpoint will just go in with the basic Glocks armor out for everybody. Imi will go with a P250, a single flash and smoke. Endpoint going to make their way in towards mid, leave 1 player to go to B.
I guess you could also say that in general, exceL Esports played this very frag-heavy style of Counter-Strike, and in the end, I mean, it didn't really work out for them. Now on the CT side, they might just prevail because, hey, this is where frags matter. If you're able to hold your own, your teammates are able to hold it on their own, you might just be able to get away here with the win here. Luzu will be getting the initial frag here, and that's pretty good here for the CT side, but it has been traded out. 4 versus for the bomb will be recovered from the T side. They still got so much time to work with here, and they still, I think, yeah, now it's safe to say they are going to try to make their way onto the B bomb side. But before so, I don't know, this push from Alex, it's very sneaky from him, but now he has been spotted, so now he has to get something going, and he will be getting that headshot. Not only that, he's also spotting out the second player, Jacob and Windansky, though. They're getting the frags in and have to wonder, Windansky again with the frag. Now Stan in a pretty awkward predicament that bomb is dropped in the middle of nowhere. He has to recover it, but also he's got to get some sort of frags here. Now he has spotted out the player towards heaven, knows there's a player towards water, 2 players towards graffiti, and he will be taken down. 12-4, a scoreline that might just make exceL Esports make maybe a bit of a comeback, maybe make some sort of comeback possible.
Opening pistol the way that they needed this to go, exceL. Now should get themselves a few conversion rounds, looking at 12-6, and then a rifle after that just to build it up. Just keep going for this CT side. Don't give Endpoint any real opportunity to make their way, work their way back on through. And, you know, even the likes of Windansky getting 2 kills on 3 HP, backed away. Denied Endpoint another kill towards that scoreboard, and that's exactly what exceL need to do at this point in time. CZ forced by for Endpoint. No bomb plant, of course. Double flash on Imi and Alex, just to enter it in towards the B site, and probably just to hold off the CTs when the after plant comes on through close range. They're all going to walk past Windansky. Jacob will try and spray away on through with the MP9, and Windansky's going to net himself 2 nice kills, 2 from Jacob. So well played. Imi alone right now, and he will get clean swept. Endpoint walked right past the linchpin in the exceL setup. 12-5 favor to the T side.
What just happened there? That was so confusing. I mean, especially if you take a look at the POV of Jacob. He was spotted out, he had a nade in his hand, both the players were shooting at him, but at the same time, I don't know who was it from the Team Endpoint side that was running away. He started shooting at him and started running away from Jacob. That was so weird to watch, but in the end, props to exceL. I mean, they end up without losing a single guy. That's pretty good, that's very good. If they do want to build up this CT side economy, that's really what matters here on the CT side. There's some nice nades though, but Team Endpoint, they're playing this one reasonably well. I mean, they could have been rushed out, especially with those, but they still got the Glock train coming in. Well, the Glocks, they might just be able to do something about it. Maybe a bomb plant if possible for Team Endpoint, but at this point, I think they've got some rounds to work with, which isn't that bad. exceL Esports, they're the ones who are probably not feeling too well about this one. Jacob, though, he will be deploying the smoke, and there's going to be players coming his way, but there's Luzu, and he will be getting the mop up here. Clean up on aisle A. And as Thomas is the last man standing, he's got the Glock in hand. I don't think he's able to do much, though. Luzu is reasonably low in HP, but he's going to get taken down 12-6 now. exceL Esports picking up 3 flawless rounds in a row.
And Laza finally managing to find that exceL payday. 4 kills for him, $2,400 in the bank, 12-6. Scoreline to the favour of Endpoint, but like I said, you know, exceL just building it back up, building up in towards the comeback. They've managed to get themselves the pistol and conversions, which is fine for the CT side. It's now just coming down to this rifle round, which Endpoint do have a significant advantage into. exceL don't want to give away these SMGs. They don't want to give away this FAMAS on Jacob. They want to get as much value out of it as they can. And if they can get kills in this next round, then that's just going to be looking even better for this CT side. Alex will start things off moving in towards A long and Endpoint. A lot of aggression into this T side. They've got players in connector. They've got players out towards long. So far reserved here, but they will find that opener on towards Loz. They're shutting him down. Both are going to spot out them as they come on through. A quick hit. It almost seems like he might even call a rotation from the CTs to try and retake the ace. Like that, Thomas and Alex now have control of his next man out towards the chopping block. Jacob will fall. And when Dansky and Weber are the last 2 alive, Endpoint clean, effective, efficient, and the bomb will make its way on towards B, where there are the last 2 CTs holding. If Mighty Max can shut these guys down, that's going to be well placed from Endpoint to clean sweep almost the exceL side. 13 rounds on the board for Endpoint. exceL still have money in the bank, though. They can buy up.
And that's the thing. That was so interesting to see because Team Endpoint go for this very fast play towards the A bomb site. And the thing is, once they go for this fast play, you get to see exceL Esports, they themselves weren't expecting a play like this. Like Luza was walking towards long with a knife out. He had no idea the T side might be so aggressive. But the thing is, exceL Esports, they didn't really have a lot of map control, and they get completely wrecked. Like, they get pretty much outstratted by the way they weren't playing on their T side. That was very nice from Team Endpoint. Very simple, very basic, but it works out beautifully now. I don't know about this one. This might be a bit more messy here towards the B bomb side, though.
T trying to get their way in from Monster. They're trying to watch out whoever's there. Weber in towards Toxic. And Dansky here spotting out 2 players with a flashbang. They don't even know that they're falling. Alex and Thomas will go down. Mighty Max gets a trade, but Stanley goes falling of his own right. 3 versus 2 as Imi trades out Jacob. Weber's still here. He's still in Toxic. He hasn't fired a single bullet. They don't have a damnedest clue, and Boaster on the backstab as well. Weber should be able to wrap on through and set this up, and Mighty Max able to get himself 2 nice kills. A 4K on for the man. But he's going to make his way back in towards the B bomb site, and Loza has rotated into heaven. Watching, waiting, hoping that Mighty Max takes the bait, hoping that he goes in towards the B site. But as the time ticks by, as the seconds dwindle away from the round, Loza may be more and more convinced that it may be a B site push. Mighty Max will get himself in towards the sandbags. Planted down, bomb goes falling. Smoke down, and Loza does take the shot. He spots him out. Counter Molotov down in towards Graffiti, but Loza's still here. He's trying to get himself close range. AWP will try and sell the fact that he's falling in towards water. Mighty Max might just be buying it, but he does peek out, does spot him, and does get the headshot. Mighty Max, a 4K clutch to bring Endpoint to 14. And look at exceL now. Their economy has been absolutely crushed.
And that's horrible, isn't it? It's a sort of scenario when you're on the CT side, or whether it be the T side, where it's a scoreline like 14 to whatever you have. And the thing is, you either have, you know, a couple options. You either go for a quick eco, and then you're going to be, your opponents, to be exact, can be up in 15. Do you really want to be in that sort of scenario? Most teams don't, so they go for this sort of forced buy, this wacky buy we're seeing right now from exceL Esports. It might work out for them, but I think some luck is also going to be involved, because they don't really have the best weaponry when it comes down to coming into a round like the 21st round here. You have Team Endpoint. They got the op. They've got the AKs. They've got the utility. All they got to do now is pretty much wait for exceL Esports to be the aggressors. Once such aggression will not come, then Team Endpoint going to start to make their move. Imi with the op, trying to clear out as many angles as possible. That's the thing you want to be doing with a player with a sniper rifle. You want to be pretty much setting that guy first, and the rifle is his backup. And that's something that I think Team Endpoint might do, but hey, Looks like the players with the rifles will be taking a long control. That's not that bad, but the thing is, you have CTs up in toilet though. The battle will commence here. Nice flash there, great flash in fact, but Luzu still will be getting the frag, retrieves an AK for his troubles. This is not looking too good here for Team Endpoint. They're losing this one, so to speak, in the frag department, but Imi goes for the refrag. 3 versus 4, but still, that was some decent damage dealt on the T side.
Now opening up for exceL though. AK for Lazar to play with. Another rifle drop down towards that long position if one of the CTs want to wrap on through and see if they can pick it up, but they might have to turn their attention towards the B site because clock's ticking and Endpoint are making their way on to the bomb site. Stanley peeking in close. Weber peeks out and shuts him down though, looks for the headshot. Windansky gets at one dig of his own. Up to Mighty Max, manically spraying on towards CTs, but unable to find the kill until he eventually lines up the head of Weber, but 7 seconds left on the clock. Has to get down on towards the bomb site, does take Windansky, but Bosa's on the other side. And he does wrap around in time to shut him down. A 7th round for the exceL side. Barely save themselves in this round. And Endpoint, they're going to be on a broken economy as it stands. May look to be an eco from the T side.
Yeah, it could very much be. And you have to wonder that the very first kickstart that allowed exceL Esports to maybe get this round going is the fact that the players towards bathrooms were able to pick up a frag. I think they might have even picked up 2 frags, to be frank. And the thing is that it was so unlucky, you could say, for Alex. You know, his teammate flashed him towards bathroom. He goes for the peek. His opponent is fully blinded, and yet Alex is not able to get the frag. That's a bit dissatisfying for him. But take a look at Boaster pushing up so aggressively. Has no idea there's a player right behind him. He turns towards him, but still Imi will be winning that engagement. That's a bit dissatisfying here for Boaster, but he tries to go for this hero play, and he has no sort of backup. So the hero play doesn't work out here for the CT side.
Opener for Endpoint on this force by AKs and Galils, and a deagle for Alex. They're on the utility set. They need to get a pick back. Unfortunately, when Danskin, a little bit of aggression of his own, will catch off Alex, but he's traded right back. Mighty Max and Thomas come up with picks now. It's all on Jacob, the lone defender of the B site, and he'll fall all the same. All is easy. Up to Lazar in towards the heaven position, trying to find a frag, trying to find a pick away back in towards this retake, but eventually he will call it quits. Save the AWP for exceL. Try to see if they can force the issue together in the next round, but Endpoint will make their way up to round 15, a map point towards their favor. And exceL, this is their pick. This is not where they need to be standing. They need to take a much more aggressive stance into this one, and this T-side start just hasn't gone well for them at all. A total of 8 rounds down. And just left the Lazar to save right here. Stanley will challenge, might be able to pick off this one lone T, and yes, he will be able to find that kill. Endpoint are falling back away. It will be map point for Endpoint. And exceL have a long comeback to make.
Simply put at it, it's gonna be one hell of a fight. If they're able to make it through, of course, they're gonna have to pick up what is the entirety of 8 rounds in a row. 0 mistakes from exceL Esports to, you know, first of all, make it to overtime. Then, once in overtime, well, that's also going to be a pretty difficult scenario. But I think Team Endpoint, take a look at the buys from both of these teams, and Team Endpoint, they're definitely in that sort of higher caliber. They've got those rifles, they've got the utility going as well. exceL Esports, in this sort of scenario where they have the pistols, the UMP, and a WP from Lazar, and of course the op should shine through, but I'm liking this play from Endpoint. This is so interesting though. They're gonna go for the straight up rush onto the B bombs, and the thing is, this might work out for them beautifully. Alex and Thomas picking up kills apiece. Jacob though will be wrecked, and now Boaster and Luzu will try to go for this one, but it's gonna be difficult. Oh, it's gonna be difficult. Boaster already being tagged down by the Molotov itself. Luzu has got the sniper rifle in hand, the big green gun if you will, but now he's gonna try to go for this one. Will be picking up the first frag, but no such bomb is being planted from the T side. Where is the bomb? Why is it not being planted? exceL Esports, they might just have an opening just because of the bomb, but now it's ticking tick-tock and it has been planted. And of course, Boaster and Luzu will try to go for this one. It's a do-or-die situation for the CT side, and it's looking dire. Okay, Boaster with the frag. It's not looking too shabby here. The UMP doing some damage, and of course, he has been found out there, Luzu. Boaster, 20 points of health. And the crossfire? Well, shall I say the double peek has been set up, and I don't think they're going to be able to do much here. 16-7 here, exceL Esports. They end up losing this one, and